Hello and welcome to this video. My name is Radu. I live in Paraguay already 8 months and I helped more than 40 people to get their residence status in Paraguay. So if you look for an immigration consultant, I am doing this job and I have good prices and good references too. So if you wish to do this, if you wish to immigrate to Paraguay, it is easy to get the residence status in Paraguay. And it has a lot of things to resolve, to the documents you need, and so I am a person who likes to do it, and I will help you too if you wish to get your resident status in Paraguay. Right now I want to talk about my experiences with the traffic police in Paraguay. So as I said, I live already 8 months, but before I came to live, I came 2 times to visit, to see the country, and not only this, I came to buy the property where we live, and we love the life here in Paraguay because of what we have around the house. We have more than 200 fruit trees, and I made another video with our property, so at the end of this video you will find the video with the property where you see how it's a property with a lot of fruit trees, mangoes and grapefruits and other fruit trees like this one here. It's guayabo called in Spanish. I do not know the name in English. And now I will get to the point, to the subject of this video, my experiences with the traffic police in Paraguay. I also ask you to not forget to subscribe to this channel. I will bring more videos about Paraguay. I have already around 80 videos in German and around 40 videos in the Romanian language. This is my native language. I was born in Romania and I am a German citizen, and I live happy in Paraguay. So from the 5 countries where I lived, Paraguay is for me now where we have the happiest time, my wife and I. And now I will tell you my experiences. First of all, when you drive in Paraguay, you need to know the lights have to be on. So if you do not have the lights on, you will be stopped by the police and you will be asked to pay them a fine. And at the end of the video, I will give you an idea what to do to escape this if you wish. You can pay them if you wish, but I found it out after I paid a lot of times. Most of the times were at the beginning because I forgot to have the lights on. So I come from Spain. I lived in Tenerife, Canary Islands, more than 19 years, and there is not required to have your lights on. And I forgot a couple of times when they stopped me, and I had to pay for this because it's required by law to have the lights on, and I didn't have it. So this was the first thing you need to know and you need to do in order to save money. Then I had other experiences as well, not just this. This is the easiest one, to switch your lights on and you are ready to go. But I heard that we do not have speed control here, and for most of the part of the country it's true. But once I was caught with 28 kilometers more than it was permitted, and this was on the Route 2, it's like the national highway from Paraguay, where we have 2 lanes in one direction. So there you could find some policemen that have a speed gun. And I paid there too. So many times, or most of the times, you can pay them the half or so from what is the fine. They tell you how is the list. Now, if you do not speak Spanish, it will be a little more difficult. I speak Spanish very well, and I talk to them in Spanish. But I will tell you at the end of the video what to do if you wish to escape the payment. The second thing I had was a speed fine. But it was from around 20,000 kilometers what I have now in these 8 months, plus the 3,000 I would drive with my rental car in the time when I was visiting. Now I had other things to explain what I had. The other thing it is that your driver license from outside of Paraguay, it's valid only 90 days after your entry to Paraguay. So if you enter more times, it counts only from the last time you entered Paraguay. But in my case, I applied for the residence when we moved to Paraguay, and I was no more than 90 days. When you apply for the residence, you get an extension of time for the time they need until they give you the residence permit. And now I was more than 90 days in Paraguay with this extension, legal extension to live here with applying for the residence, and didn't know this. This was information that I didn't have, and a policeman stopped me and told me this, and I asked him to not apply a fine, and he agreed and he let me go without paying anything. But this was the first time I just got the information that your driver license from outside, from another country, is not valid for more than 90 days after your entry to Paraguay. And then, the next day or second day after that, I was stopped by another police woman. It's a control place from the traffic police near to our house. I mean, we drive there almost every time we have to drive to the town near to us and so on. And they controlled me sometimes. Many times they only want to see if your documents are valid, because you have to renew your driver license every year to pay a fee like $10 a year or something like this. And then the car, I mean, you pay like a tax for the car every year, and this is about $10 too. But they just stop you to control this, to see if you did not pass the date where these things are valid. And that's why they stop you more times than only when you make an error or so, to fine you. Most of the times they stop you so just to control the documents. And this time they knew when I entered, because they controlled me before, and now they stopped me and asked me for the driver license again, and now they wanted to get money from me because I was past the 90 days. I did hear about this just 1 or 2 days before. I didn't know, and I couldn't resolve this issue in 1 or 2 days. And I was stopped, and then she passed my documents to a man that negotiated with me. They do not have problems if we pay them, because it's not so controlled, and it's I mean, the government doesn't sue them if they get money instead of the fine. So for them, because I think their salary is not so high, I do not know how much they earn, but usually the salaries are not very high in Paraguay. There are smaller salaries. A normal salary in Paraguay is about $300 or $400 a month. That's why the policemen, they accept to pay them the half of the fine, and then if you pay the fine. But they are okay with this too, to write you the fine and give you the fine, and you have to pay the fine if you are okay with this. And now they started negotiating with me. I told them I will resolve this issue with my driver license. I told them I drove 90 days until now, and now from one day to the other my driver license is not valid. I drive the same as I drove before, but they just wanted to get money from me. And now I'll tell you how I did it. First I started with 100,000 guaranis. So here a dollar it's about 7,000 guaranis approximately. So I offered 100,000 and he said, no, we are 5 persons here. He let me understand that he wanted 500,000 for this thing that I was past the 90 days. And then I offered 200,000 and it wasn't okay. Then I offered 300,000 and he was still not content. And then I said, okay, then write me the fine, and wanted to take the money. And then he said, no, it's okay. He gave me the documents and he said, if you have some problems, you can contact me or something like this. And this was another 300,000 I paid, like the same amount I paid when I got caught with more speed than it was permitted. And this is around $45, something like this. I mean, it's much for Paraguay, but depending on where you come from, this is not a very, very high sum to pay. But if you wish to be clean, to not have any fine on your record, then most of the people will think, I will give this and I will not have any fine on my record. And now I have already the Paraguay driver license and all the documents. In the first 5 or 6 months we received everything. Usually it takes 3 months or something like this to get your residence permit now with the new law since October. And after that you need 1 more month when you apply for your national ID, and then you will get your national ID, and after you get your national ID you can get your driver license here. I also help some people to get their driver license in Paraguay. You just show your driver license from your country, and you have to make other things, to get other documents they require. And I can help you to get your Paraguay driver license too. But you need first the national ID, which is called Cédula de Identidad. So national ID, Cédula de Identidad. And after you have your Cédula de Identidad, your national ID, I can help you to get your driver license very easy. So I leave in the description and in the first comment of this video my WhatsApp and Telegram number, and you can contact me there. You can write and call me, and we can talk. I can inform you what you need in order to be a legal resident in Paraguay. And now the idea, what you can do to escape this payment. I didn't know this. I wish I would have known. I have applied it once and I saw that it functioned, and I will tell you this small story too. And it is so that they cannot charge money from the foreigners with a fine. It's the system so done. If you do not have this national ID from Paraguay, then the foreigners pay the policemen so, but if they write you a fine and you do not pay it, it's not a problem at all. So I saw this in Spain too. Maybe it's different now, but I mean I lived approximately 20 years in Spain and I made it sometimes so, but I didn't know that in Paraguay could be so too. And a neighbor told me this. Some people from Brazil and from Argentina, they come and drive here and they let them write fines and do not pay them, and it doesn't happen anything at all. So if you are caught, you do not have the Paraguay documents already, and they wish to write you a fine, then let them now write me the fine, and I will pay the fine in the next week or so. You get a fine written, and then if you do not pay it, it doesn't have any consequences to you, as long as you do not have the Paraguay documents. After that, you have to pay the fine. After I received this information, I tried to see how it works. And it was in the late evening. I came back from the capital, from Asuncion, and one policeman stopped me and wanted to get money from me, even though I didn't make any error. So first, when he stopped me, he asked me for the fire extinguisher, and I didn't understand what he meant, because he talked to me like in Guarani. It was such a word that I didn't understand what he wanted. I saw from the beginning that he wanted some money from me. And my wife was thinking, maybe he means this thing. And I asked him in Spanish then if it's the fire extinguisher, and he said yes. And I had it in the back of the car, but it wasn't right on my hand to take it right away. And I showed him this, and he looked at the date to see if the date was okay, because it's valid only for 1 year. So you have to have it with you. And but I was asked for this just this one time. From 20 times maybe, I don't know, I didn't count all of the times they stopped me. This was the only time a policeman asked me for this thing. And I brought it to him, and he looked at the date, and it was okay. And he told me I have to pay the fine because I didn't took it right away to give it to him, to show it. I mean, he said the law requires to have it on hand, right by your hand, near to your seat where you sit in the car. And because it took me time to get it from the back of the car, it was, other than that, I had building materials over this, and it took me maybe 3, 4, 5 minutes to take it out. And because of that, he wanted to make me pay. And I told him, write me the fine, and I'll see how I pay the fine, or something like this. He told me, no, you have to pay now. He knew that if he would write me the fine, he will not get anything, and he wanted money then, at the moment. He understood that I just wanted the fine, and he didn't write me the fine at all, because maybe it's not required by law to take it right away, this fire extinguisher. But after that he said, a las órdenes. This means we are at your order. You can tell me what should I do, and I will do it. So this is a nice way how the Paraguay people tell you when you thank them for something they have done. They use these words, a las órdenes. So, which it means I would serve you another time also when you need me. And so I just proved it that it was okay. You just tell them to write you the fine. Now I have the Paraguay driver license. Since then I do not have any problems, because I know whatever they ask you to do. I mean, you have to do everything it's required by law. And they do not have speed controls, just one speed gun. I saw in more than 20,000 kilometers I drove. And just when you have like a highway with 2 lanes in a direction, if you have a normal highway with just 1 lane in a direction, they do not have any speed guns there. And you can speed, it's no problem. And so I did not get a fine for passing where it's not permitted, even though I did it many times. but you have to take care to see if it's a police car or not. They can fine you for this. And I like the life in Paraguay. I mean, what I do not like, it's on the roads you have these bumps, or how do you call them, where you have to stop. In the villages or towns where you pass through, you have to stop. This is the only thing I do not like in Paraguay. But other than that, we have a happy life here. You hear the birds singing, and it's very nice to hear them all the entire day here where you live. And the nature, it's pure, and it's also a very good climate, other than in summer it's a little bit too hot, but you can solve this problem too. If you have air condition or shadow or whatever, there are some things to resolve this problem when it's too hot in summer. So if you like this video, please smash the like button and subscribe to this channel, and I will bring more videos about Paraguay in English too. So I have a lot in German and Romanian, and English now is the third language. I do videos in about Paraguay, and I like to help other people to resolve their problems here in Paraguay. Thanks for watching this video. Take care, and I wish you a better life.